Now it's perfect.
Okay, great. So hello everybody. Unfortunately, I'm sorry I don't speak Swedish, so it's going to be in English today for this 25 minutes presentation. A quick snapshot at Horizon Europe. So I think you've been discussing about that a bit this morning. I heard at some point Horizon in Swedish. So I'm going to try to give you, so I'm not going to than myself. Well, just quickly, so I'm working for a consulting company that is supporting organizations to write and submit and manage EU proposals. And today I'm going to try to present a little bit the program very quickly, a quick structure, and why you actually should participate to this program to get public funds. So first, I would like to start actually with some myth that exists about this program, this Horizon Europe program, which is a massive funding program of 95 billion euro. So, of course, when you want to submit this kind of, when you want to get this type of public funds that are very attractive, of course, at some point you have some, let's say, some intense process to get these funds, but it's not that complicated. And there are some myths that we think, like, for example, that EU funds are complex, that you don't know where you should start when you want to get some funds. But actually, you have to know that this is actually the biggest research and innovation program in the world. So it started in the 80s, in 84 exactly. So the process is quite formalized, everything is structured. You have a lot of support that you can get from your regional and national organizations, from a lot of webinars and events that you can check when you want to start as a newcomer in Horizon Europe. So you should not be lost. So that's something very important to understand. Then something that we think as well with this big program is that it's reserved for the big actors, for the elite in research and innovation. But actually, newcomers, SMEs, startups are very more than welcome. There are a lot of fields for every program, every work program from the Commission. There are some new fields where new stakeholders can really jump easily in the process. And there are even some mono beneficiaries call when you are an SME with the European Innovation Council. So this is something I'm really quickly going to present after. But then, so you should really feel more than welcome when you want to apply to this Horizon Europe program. Then something else that we think as well is about the fact that you don't have the enough resources to spend on your project because you're a small company and you don't know if you're going to be able to submit a proposal. But one thing really to have in mind is that you don't have to be the coordinator. So of course, these are collaborative projects, but there are 5, 10 partners, 15 partners for these projects, even more sometimes. But you can just be, actually, when you're a newcomer, you can be a partner. And when you're a partner, this can be very ideal because to write a project when you are a partner is not that intense. So you should not be worried about that, even if you don't have resources with you, like you don't have a project manager that is going to write the project for you, it should be okay. Then there is something else as well, because when we speak about that program, we say it's a research and innovation program, but the whole cycle of research is not only about being an innovative company. So the most of the project, they cover the whole value chain from the researchers that will from universities, from research centers, to really the end users, the SME that is going to use the results of the project, and the lead users, so the organizations that are going to develop the technology. So it really covers a whole bunch of actors. And even if you're not an innovative company, you can really jump in and trying to find your place if you have some competencies and skills that could be related to some topics. And then the biggest one, I would say, it's about the success rate. So a lot of people think that the success rate is low. I'm not going to say no. It's wrong. Of course, it's low, but it's not for all the calls. So the average of the success rate is about 15%. But there are some calls depending on the topics. If it's a niche, you can get up to 30-40%. And especially for Horizon Europe, actually for we started to get the first results beginning of this year. And I was quite surprised actually at the success rate that seems to be a bit higher. And even the marks are not that competitive. So for, sorry, for Horizon 2020, sometimes we needed out of 15, so you're rated out of 15 to be funded. And some proposals, they had 14 out of 15 and they were not even funded. Now we can see some proposals that can get sometimes 12 out of 15 and they can be funded. This is what we saw in Horizon Europe. So just 2 seconds. I'm speaking too quick, I don't know. Well, so one strategy that you could think of also with Horizon Europe is about trying actually to be involved in the writing process of the course. So this is, I'm not going to go into that today, but I really advise you to reach out to the national contact points from Horizon Europe, because you really have, even as an SMEs, you have sometimes the potential to push for some calls in your topic, and then this could give you the opportunities actually to find the right call for you if you can influence the work program. So this is something that could be very interesting for you. And sometimes at some point when you are searching for a call and you are involved in the writing of the call, of course you can think that potentially the call is really targeted for you, and then the success rate could be potentially more interesting for you. So these are some myths that exist in Horizon Europe, and this is something that at some point when you're a newcomer, so you should really not think that this is too complex. This is the main message, and I really invite you to actually contact the organizations, the national contact points, to see how potentially you could be involved in support. Then, once you are kind of convinced that this is not that complex, so you need to actually get answers to the big question, because this is one thing to tell yourself, okay, this could be interesting to go there, it's not that complicated, but then why actually you should get involved in Horizon Europe, and what are the advantages that you could get when you get some EU funds. So there are several reasons to actually get Horizon Europe funds. The first one, and even for SMEs and for private companies, this is the fact that this is a very attractive funding, because you can get between 70 to 100% of funding for your project. And on top of that, you can also get 25% of indirect costs. So when you report 100 euros of expenses, then you would get back from the Commission 125 euros. So, and this is absolutely funding. This is not a grant. This is not a loan. So you won't have to reimburse that money. So this is a very attractive funding. Then this is also about the EU dimension, because then you would get out of your country, you reach to new markets, you will deal with more global problematics, which can be very interesting also for your company, this EU dimension that you would not get with national funds. Then one of the biggest one as well is the network, because you will be involved into some collaborative projects. You will activate your network, you will make yourself known, because these projects are long projects. Well, they last 3 to 4 years with massive communication, massive dissemination about the project. So you will be known, and this is something that is a very big, well, a nice added value for your company. Then also you will have this kind of multi-sector, multidisciplinary project in which you will be involved, which will a lot of time give you a lot of opportunities to discover new sectors, to collaborate with different type of actors, because EU projects are by essence multi-sectoral, with universities, associations, research centers, industrial associations, and companies, big companies, startups. So this is very interesting to be part of this kind of multidisciplinary network. And of course, you will get the experience to develop new competencies and to enrich yourself with new knowledge, because what you will create and all the results that will be developed as part of these projects, you will share them. So this is something also important. And then you also become bankable, because you get the opportunity to get some credibility because you've been selected among the best. So sometimes this can leverage additional funds for your company, and this is something quite interesting. And then also, this is something else that sometimes for companies, this is not an easy catch, because you have most of the time, let's say, a shorter, long-term, shorter vision than research centers. But then when you're part of these kind of projects, you will have also to push yourself to not think only short-term, but to think long-term strategy, because these kind of funds, this is a long-term strategy. They last 4 years, but then most of the time you need additional funds later, and then this can really push yourself to think ahead regarding your development strategy. And the final one, which is more, let's say, altruist, this is about the fact that you will be part of some bigger goals, and you will be part of really nice projects to solve societal challenges and to participate in the realization of the sustainable development goals that are very important for the European Commission. So the SDGs, they are the goals from the United Nations, and these are a priority for the European Commission, and you will be part of this whole process. So once you actually know that being part of these kind of projects are very attractive for you, and that this can really bring you a lot of advantages, and benefits, then before really jumping into writing or being part of a new project, you still have to ask yourself the good questions, because sometimes EU funds are maybe too big, and in the end, when you start to make like a review of the state of the art of your situation, maybe it's not necessary that you go for EU funds. So you really have to ask yourself why are you the best, with who you would like to make these projects, when do you want to start, because most of the time this can take sometimes a year before you can get the fund. So you have to think of also the timing, what's the stage of the development of your ID, and the state of the art. This is very important that you know your competitors before you start going into that. You have to know also the users, who is going to use the resource. This is a question that is, I would say, quite obvious for companies, because you know to who you want to sell your products, your technology, your services. But sometimes when you need, when you're going to work with researchers and universities, sometimes that question is not that obvious for researchers. So you have to know, and to help them to really know who is your target groups. And then you need to know also why you want that EU dimension. What are your financial needs as well? This is something important, because if you need 10, 15 millions, this is not really the good program with Horizon Europe. Most of the time, the maximum for SMEs, it's going to be with Horizon Europe, the different calls, it's going to be around 2 million euros. But most of the time, when you are in a collaborative project, it's going to be quite less. So you need to know also what are your needs in terms of funding. And also another point that is quite important, it's about sharing your results, because as you might know, Horizon Europe, this is public funds, this is the taxpayers' money. So at some point, the Commission really wants that this money, the projects that are funded by public funds, they are known to the public. The results are known. The results are shared in open access. Of course, you have some potential to protect the results, but at some point you will have to share some of the background or the foreground, the results that you have created. So, and now, if again all the questions have been answered, now you need to know where to go to find the course. So this is the very big picture. I'm not going to go at all into the details, but if you start to check a little bit the Horizon Europe program, this picture, this is one that you will see a lot with the presentation of the 3 pillars for Horizon Europe. Is the first one, which is not really targeted at SMEs, although still there are some potential. But if you are a newcomer, this might not be the first one, the pillar 1 where you would go. But then you have the pillar 2 and the pillar 3. So the pillar 2, these are multi-beneficiary projects. This is what we call a top-down approach. So all the calls are already defined with detailed topics that you can see actually in the white box. So there are 6 clusters. So one is about health, the other one is about culture, creativity, and inclusive society. You have the cluster 3 that is about civil security for society. Then you have the cluster 4 about digital, industry, and space. The cluster 5 climate, energy, and mobility. And the final one, which is about food, bioeconomy, natural resources, agriculture, and environment. So in this pillar, so you have a lot of calls. So every time, so you have a work program for 2 years. So this program, for information, is going to last until 2027. So Horizon Europe, and you have some work program. The calls are published every time for a period of 2 years. And for example, for 2021 and 2022, you had more than 700 calls in the pillar 2. So at some point, there are a lot of opportunities. And so I invite you to really go and check this pillar depending on your topic. And then you have the pillar 3, which is really targeted at SMEs. So this is called Innovative Europe. Here you have the potential to have multi, but also mono-beneficiary. And most of the calls, this is a bottom-up approach, which means that topics are not targeted and you are free to actually propose some topics for the calls that you want to apply to. So of course, they have to be innovative, they have to be breakthrough projects, but this is a bottom-up approach, which means also, of course, that the competition is quite higher. Every time when you have some bottom-up approach, everybody from Europe replying to these calls. So, but this is there are some also very nice opportunities for SMEs and companies in this pillar 3. So here I'm just putting a link because you should. So I'm not presenting the funding and tender portal, but I really invite you to really get familiar with this website. That should be, if you are interested in EU funds, should be your favorite website where you should be able to get these funds. And like I was saying, so there are a lot of calls every time for a period of 2 years. So at some point, of course, it might be that you will not find one, but you have a lot of potential to get this. Just so I don't know if I'm on time. Yeah, it's okay. So again, so once you have spent some time to find your call, to check the topics, you need after that to find your consortium. So if you're a newcomer, of course, you're going to be a partner. So you will normally really, when you want to be a partner of a call, you will get into that process of finding partners and to build your consortium. So you will have the coordinator that will get the partners, but you as a partner, you need to find your coordinator and be able to team up with you to write a proposal. So the first process, I would say, to really find your consortium, it's going to be in your network. So this is the first circle that you have around you to find some potential partners. Then you have the network of your network. And if at some point you don't manage to find some potential partners with who to team up to submit a proposal, then you have a lot of opportunities, a lot of let's say tools to find partners. So the first one that I would say is the European Commission Funding and Tenders portal, where you have a tool that is called Partner Search. On each call that you find, you have a tool where you will be able to find potential other organizations that have submitted requests for partners. So this is somewhere where you should go to find some partners. Then you have this enterprise network. That is another network in Europe that is really targeting SMEs and the private sector to support you in getting public funds, and especially Horizon Europe. They have a partner search tool on their website. You have some for each country. So in Sweden, in each region, you have some Enterprise Europe network. So I really encourage you to go and check them if you are an SME, to try to find some support and to ask if they are aware of some networks or partners to submit a proposal. And then you also have your national contact points that are very crucial as well when you want to get support and to submit a proposal, and they can really help you to find some new partners. So I don't know the support that you have in Sweden because each country, they have their own way of working. So, but I'm sure that in Sweden as well, you have a nice network as well, and nice support from the national contact points to support you in finding potential partners. Then also, this is something, if you are an SMEs companies, you have a lot of events that are organized actually by the Commission, even at national level, what we call info days and matchmaking events. So these are like some business dating, where especially targeting Horizon Europe calls. So there are some, like, I don't know, maybe every month, every 2 months, depending on the topics on the calls, but it can be very fruitful if you are looking for some partners. And then you have the rest. And then these are like all the European networks, the industrial associations, the EU partnerships, EU technological platforms. So you have a lot of networks that you can check at EU level, and some final, I would say, final path to check some partners. It's quite effective. Actually, it's quite efficient. It's to check the EU projects that have already been funded by the European Commission. Because so you have a database that is called Cordis. You can check it on Google. You will find the website in the first link, and here you can check on you can type a keyword regarding your topic, and you will have a list of all the EU projects that have been funded in the past. You can have access to the amount, the budget that they got, the countries that were involved, the results that they did, and all the partners. So here, this is quite interesting to check that. And also, if you are an SME, you have to know that regarding Horizon 2020, so the past program from the Commission, approximately 70% of the coordinators were from the public sector. So it was the research centers and the universities. So if at some point you are interested to go to Horizon Europe, I really advise you to go and check the public sector, the universities, the research centers, to try to contact them and to check if at some point they are going to submit some proposals, because they are the main coordinators in Horizon Europe. So at some point, maybe you can get with them. And then I think it's over. No, I don't know. Just one last point regarding who can participate. You have to know that all legal organizations can participate in the world: academics, industries, SMEs, international organizations. But for collaborative projects, you still have, in terms of eligibility, you have a minimum of 3 legal entities that should be established in in three, well, it's not three legal members, sorry, 3 EU members, so the 27 countries, or associated countries to Horizon Europe. So you have 17 countries that have been associated to Horizon Europe, like Norway, Iceland, Tunisia, Turkey, Israel, etc. And apart from that, even if all organizations can participate, not all of them can receive some funds, but they can be part of the consortium, but they won't be able to ask for some money to the European Commission, like the US, Canada, Australia, the Middle East countries like Saudi Arabia, and etc. They cannot receive funds, but they can participate in your project. This is something important to know, and I put here the link that you should know. And I would like to finish by that one because I think it's quite true. Because you might fail. This is something that you have to know, but this is a long-term process. And like Thomas Edison said, it's just like you found 10,000 ways that won't work. So you will learn from your mistakes, but it's not a bad thing. And like I was explaining about the advantages and the benefits, even if you fail, at some point you will learn a lot. You will have been part of a project inside a project, because when you write a proposal, this is basically a project as well that you have to manage the writing process. But then you will gain experience, and this can only increase your chances for the next time when you try. So this was just the last slide.
Perfect, Marie. Thank you very much. And